Welcome to Coins History. What if the 5-cent nickel you almost ignored today was secretly worth thousands of dollars? Most people see a Jefferson nickel and spend it without a second thought, but collectors know one tiny date, mint mark, or rare error can change everything. So before you spend your next nickel, stop. Check it carefully, because the coin you're about to spend could be the one you've been searching for your entire life. And wait until you see number 1. Top 1. Have you ever checked your spare change jar for a nickel that could be hiding thousands of dollars in value? Today we're going deep into a coin that's flying under the radar for most people, but has serious collectors and error hunters completely obsessed. The 2004 Louisiana Purchase nickel, straight from a proof set, and we're breaking down exactly what makes certain versions of this little 5-cent piece worth an absolute fortune. Let's set the stage first. This coin is the very first release in the United States Mint's Westward Journey nickel series, launched in 2004 and 2005 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. The obverse still carries the classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson used since 1938, but the reverse is completely different from anything seen before, featuring a rendition of the original 1801 Jefferson peace medal, showing 2 clasped hands symbolizing peace and friendship. Those clasped hands represent something powerful, one arm dressed in a U.S. military uniform sleeve, the other wearing a traditional Native American beaded wristband, commemorating the treaty medals that were carried all the way through the Lewis and Clark expedition and presented to tribal leaders as tokens of goodwill. This isn't just pocket change, it's a piece of frontier American diplomacy struck in metal. U.S. Mint +2. Now let's talk brutally honest numbers, because most people searching for this coin want the truth, not hype. In average circulated condition, this nickel is worth close to its face value of 5 cents, and even in certified mint state condition, standard examples typically sell for only a few dollars at most. USA Coin Book pegs a typical uncirculated 2004 piece metal nickel between roughly 30 cents and under $1. So if you're holding an ordinary example from circulation, don't expect to retire off it. But that is exactly where this story gets interesting, because the real money in this coin isn't in the ordinary pieces, it's hidden in the mistakes. Coin trackers. USA Coin Book. This is where the Louisiana Purchase nickel becomes a genuine treasure hunt. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of these in 2004, and during that massive production run, the machinery slipped up in some incredible ways, and collectors have paid serious money to own the proof. Let's start with one of the most jaw-dropping errors in the entire modern nickel series. A 2004 Jefferson nickel accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, meaning it was stamped onto a blank meant for an entirely different coin. One of these sold for as much as $4,000 at auction. Let that sink in. A 5-cent coin, worth 80,000 times its face value, all because of one factory mistake. CoinValueChecker.com. Then there are the off-center strikes, which are some of the most dramatic-looking errors you'll ever see in a coin jar. A nickel struck 5 to 10% off-center might bring $20 to $75, while a 30% off-center example can climb as high as $200 to $400. The most dramatic strikes, 50% or more off-center while the date is still fully visible, have sold for $500 to a full $1,000 at major auctions. Imagine pulling a coin like that out of a roll from the bank. Coin no. Clipped planchet errors are another category worth checking for. This happens during the blanking process, when the machine accidentally cuts a new coin blank too close to a hole left by the previous cut, leaving the coin with a flat or curved bite taken out of its edge. Small clips removing 5 to 10% of the coin typically trade for $25 to $50, while larger clips cutting away 15 to 25% can reach $150 to $400. One dramatic straight clipped example sold for $715 at heritage auctions. And if you're lucky enough to find a double clip, 2 separate bites taken from the same coin, one of those brought in over $100 on eBay alone. CoinValueChecker.com. CoinValueChecker.com. Don't overlook the doubled die variety either. The 2004 doubled die obverse, known to collectors as the FS101 variety, is considered one of the most collectible errors in the entire Westward Journey series, showing prominent doubling on the word Liberty and on the date itself. The key to spotting a real one is checking for crisp, raised doubling rather than the flat, mushy look of ordinary machine damage. Genuine doubled dies happen at the die-making stage, not from wear. Coin no. CoinValueChecker.com. So here's your action plan if you think you might be holding something special. First, sort through your nickels and separate anything from 2004 with the P mint mark under Jefferson's date. Second, grab a magnifying glass and check the edges for clips, the surface for doubling, and the strike for anything off-center or unusually weak. Third, weigh it. A normal Jefferson nickel weighs exactly 5 grams, so if yours is noticeably lighter, that's a strong clue you're holding a clipped planchet error. And finally, resist the urge to clean it. Cleaning a coin, even gently, can strip away the very surface details that prove authenticity and destroy the value instantly. CoinValueChecker.com. Before you get too excited about any online price you see for these errors, remember something important. The values we just covered are for coins that have already been professionally authenticated and graded by services like PCGS or NGC. If you find something promising, that certification step is what turns a hopeful guess into real, documented value. Thanks for watching. If this opened your eyes to what might be sitting in your spare change, smash that like button, share this with someone who loves a good treasure hunt, and subscribe so you never miss the next hidden coin fortune. See you in the next one. Top 2. What if I told you that a plain-looking 5-cent coin sitting in a drawer somewhere could be worth more than a brand new car? It sounds impossible, but it's true. Today we're uncovering the story of the 1964 Jefferson nickel, straight from a proof set, and by the end of this video you're going to want to check every single nickel you own. Let's start with the moment this coin was born. The 1964 Jefferson nickel holds the all-time mintage record for the entire series, with nearly 2.8 billion coins struck between the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the highest single-year output for any nickel in United States history. Why so many? 1964 was a chaotic year for American coinage. The country was facing a severe shortage of circulating coins, so the mint went into overdrive to flood the economy with nickels. And here's a wild detail most people don't know. Only about 455 million of the Denver coins were actually struck in 1964 itself. The remaining 1.3 billion rolled off the presses in 1965, but because of a congressional date freeze at the time, they still carry the 1964 date. So when you're holding a 1964 nickel, there's a decent chance it wasn't even struck in 1964 at all. CoinValueChecker.com +2. 1964 nickel error list. Let's talk about the crown jewel first, the coin every serious collector dreams of finding. It's called the 1964 SMS nickel, and its story sounds almost like a conspiracy theory. The special mint set nickel is among the rarest coins in the entire Jefferson series, and incredibly, its very existence was completely unknown to collectors for nearly 3 decades. The first time one ever appeared at public auction was in 1993. To this day, PCGS has only certified 19 examples, and Heritage Auctions estimates fewer than 2 dozen are known to exist across every grade combined. Think about that for a second. Out of nearly 3 billion nickels struck that year, fewer than 25 have ever been confirmed as genuine SMS strikes. And the prices reflect that insane scarcity. A genuine 1964 SMS nickel can sell for anywhere between $8,000 and $35,000. One legendary example, a special mint set nickel-graded SP68 with full steps, actually sold for $31,200 at a major Stack's Bowers auction in 2021. Another record sale reportedly reached $32,900. That's a 5-cent coin worth more than 650,000 times its face value. Rarest.org +4. So how do you even recognize one of these legendary coins? Look for an unusually sharp, satin-like finish across every single design element. The surface quality should look noticeably different from a typical business strike nickel, almost like a hybrid between a proof coin and a regular strike. If a nickel in your collection looks unusually crisp, with razor-sharp detail on Jefferson's portrait and Monticello, that is exactly the kind of coin worth getting professionally examined immediately. But the SMS isn't the only prize hiding in this year. Let's talk about the full steps designation, something every 1964 nickel hunter should know. This refers to sharply defined, unbroken steps at the base of Monticello on the reverse, a feature that's rare because most nickels from this era were weakly struck, causing those tiny architectural steps to blur together. In pristine condition, a 1964D full steps nickel can fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction. Coins carrying the 6 full steps or 5 full steps designation are currently valued anywhere from $20 up to an incredible $4,250. The Sweet Bee Bakery Boutique Plus 2. 1964 nickels. CoinValueChecker.com plus 3. Coins value. So here's your action plan. Pull out every 1964 nickel you can find, check both the P and D mint marks. Look closely at Monticello's base for crisp, complete steps. Examine the surface for an unusually satin or mirror-like finish that might hint at an SMS or proof strike. Check the mint mark for any doubling or repunching. And whatever you do, never clean these coins. Cleaning instantly destroys the original luster that separates a 5-cent coin from a 5-figure one. Finally, if anything looks promising, get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC before you believe any price tag. With a coin this legendary, certification isn't optional, it's essential. The 1964 Jefferson nickel proves that even the most ordinary-looking coin in your pocket change could be hiding an extraordinary secret. Somewhere out there, a handful of these coins are still waiting to be discovered, and one of them could be sitting in your house right now. Thanks for watching. If this blew your mind, smash that like button, share it with someone who needs to check their coin jar tonight, and subscribe so you never miss the next hidden fortune hiding in plain sight. See you in the next one. Let's start with something most people searching for this coin don't actually know. 1971 was mint mark year for coins, and every nickel struck that year fell into 3 categories: no mint mark coins from Philadelphia, D mint mark coins from Denver, and S mint mark proof coins made exclusively at the San Francisco Mint for collectors. Here's the twist: since 1968, only San Francisco has produced proof coins, while Denver and Philadelphia strike coins meant for everyday circulation. That means a D mint 1971 nickel is technically a business strike coin, not a proof. But don't click away yet, because this coin story is still one of the wildest in modern numismatics, and the value potential is very real. The 1971 D Jefferson nickel is generally considered a common date coin. But here's what makes it genuinely special: for the first time in decades, the U.S. Mint cut brand new, sharper master die hubs that year, which means full steps examples on this specific date are far more achievable than on nickels from previous decades. That single detail changes everything for collectors chasing condition rarities. Now let's get into the real reason this date has exploded in searches: the legendary 1971 No S proof nickel. This is where the story turns into something almost unbelievable. This error is the only coin in the entire Jefferson nickel series ever struck without its intended mint mark. It happened when the Philadelphia Mint's engraving department accidentally shipped an incomplete proof die to San Francisco, one that had never been punched with the required S mint mark. The mistake wasn't caught until roughly 1,655 proof nickels had already been struck and distributed inside 1971 proof sets. Think about that number for a second. Out of millions of coins produced that year, fewer than 2,000 carry this mistake. And the prices reflect just how rare that mistake really is. A PR63 example of the No S nickel typically sells for around $800, while PR68 specimens fetch approximately $1,100 to $1,500. Pushing to deep cameo territory at PR68, and prices can reach $2,850. The all-time record stands at $7,637.50, set by a PCGS PR69 deep cameo specimen sold through Heritage Auctions in 2016. That is a 5-cent coin worth over 150,000 times its face value. So here's the critical part everyone searching for this coin needs to understand. The rare No S nickels only came from 1971 proof sets, which would have contained an S mint mark on every other coin in the set except that one nickel. A regular Philadelphia set from that year has no mint marks at all, and a Denver mint set would show D on every coin. Either of those is the rare variety. In other words, if you're holding a D mint 1971 nickel, you don't have the $1 million mistake. But you might still be holding a coin with genuine premium value if the strike and steps are sharp enough. Don't overlook other errors from this date either. Keep an eye out for doubling on the lettering and date. Coins with slight doubling from aligned strikes might sell for $50 to $100, while more dramatic examples with a heavily off-center second strike can command $150 to $400 or more. Strike-through errors are worth checking for too. A 1971 D nickel with a confirmed strike-through error in AU58 condition has sold in the range of $50 to $80. So here's your action plan. Pull out every 1971 nickel you own and check for a mint mark just below the date near Jefferson's shoulder. If it says D, you're holding a business strike. Check for full steps under a magnifying glass and look closely for any doubling or strike errors. If it says S, stop everything and look extremely closely for that missing mint mark, because that's the coin worth thousands. And whatever you find, never clean it. Cleaning any coin instantly destroys the surfaces that determine its true grade and value. If anything looks promising, get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC before trusting any price you see online. The 1971 Jefferson nickel proves that even in a year full of ordinary coins, one tiny mistake at the mint can turn a 5-cent piece into a life-changing find. So check that coin jar, check those old proof sets tucked in a drawer, because somewhere out there, someone's about to discover they've been carrying a fortune in their pocket change. Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, smash that like button, share it with a fellow coin hunter, and subscribe so you never miss the next hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. See you in the next one. Top 4. Right now, somewhere in a jar, a drawer, or an old coin album, there's a nickel from 1973 that could be worth thousands of dollars, while the exact same coin, if it's just a little different, is worth nothing more than 5 cents. Today we're breaking down the 1973 Jefferson nickel, straight from a proof set, uncovering exactly what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, and why this specific year has become one of the most searched dates in American coin collecting. The engineering info. Now here's the part everyone searching for this coin actually wants to know: what's it really worth? Let's be completely honest right up front. The overwhelming majority of 1973 Jefferson nickels are worth exactly their 5-cent face value. This coin follows what collectors call a barbell value curve, meaning almost every example sits at one extreme end worth pennies, while a tiny handful sit at the opposite extreme worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That gap is exactly why this coin has exploded in search interest, because the difference between garbage and gold can come down to a single tiny detail most people would never notice. Coin No. Push even higher into the elite grading tiers and the numbers become genuinely stunning. Great Collections, one of the leading certified coin auction platforms, has sold over 120 examples of the 1973 nickel with full steps over the past 16 years, with prices ranging anywhere from $6 all the way up to $2,695 in the top grades. Some estimates place the absolute ceiling for a full-step 1973 coin at MS67 condition around $2,750. That's a coin most people would spend without a second glance, worth over 50,000 times its face value. CoinValueChecker.com. And if you're chasing the absolute top of the market, keep an eye out for deep cameo proofs, these ultra-contrast coins, where Jefferson's frosted white portrait stands out dramatically against mirror-like fields, have been documented selling for as much as $4,250 in the finest PR70 deep cameo condition. Errors are where this coin turns into an absolute treasure hunt. Let's start with one of the most dramatic mint mistakes in the entire series, a wrong planchet error, where a copper cent blank accidentally found its way into the nickel striking press at the Denver Mint. Instead of the proper cupronickel planchet, the dies struck a smaller, lighter copper penny blank by mistake, creating one of the most spectacular and visually obvious errors you can find on a modern American coin. Certified examples in AU55 condition have sold for $216 to $810 at major auctions, including specimens from the prestigious Fred Weinberg collection sold through Heritage Auctions in 2022. Coin no. There's also a documented misplaced mint mark error on Denver coins from this year. Because mint marks were still hand-punched using dies before laser technology existed, some working dies received their D-mint mark punched noticeably lower than normal, closer to Jefferson's color instead of its standard position below the date. This obvious deviation is exactly the kind of detail collectors scan for with a magnifying glass. Coin no. So here's your action plan. Grab every 1973 nickel you can find and check the obverse just below the date and near Jefferson's ponytail for a mint mark. No letter means Philadelphia, D means Denver, and S means you're holding a San Francisco-proof coin, the rarest of the three. Flip it over and examine Monticello's base under a magnifying glass, counting for 5 or 6 unbroken steps. Check the weight and material. Anything that looks unusually light, coppery, or off-color could be a wrong planchet error worth serious money. And whatever you do, do not clean the coin. Cleaning permanently destroys the surfaces that determine authenticity and grade. If you think you've found something special, get it professionally authenticated by PCGS or NGC before trusting any number you see online. Thanks for watching. If this helped you see your spare change differently, smash that like button, share it with a fellow collector, and subscribe so you never miss the next hidden coin fortune. See you in the next one. Top 5. There is something incredibly exciting about finding an old Jefferson nickel and realizing that the little 5-cent coin in your hand could be worth far more than its face value. And if you have a 1970-60 Jefferson nickel, especially one preserved in exceptional condition, you may have a coin that deserves a much closer look. The 1970-60 Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint during one of the most memorable years in American coin history. The year 1976 marked the United States bicentennial, and millions of Americans were celebrating 200 years of American independence. That historic atmosphere made 1976 an unforgettable year for collectors, and coins from this period continue to attract attention today. Now comes the part that every coin collector wants to know. Why would a common-looking 1970-60 Jefferson nickel ever become a valuable rare coin? However, high-grade examples can be much more desirable. Look at the entire coin. Check Jefferson's hair and facial details. Examine the lettering. Look for scratches across the fields. Inspect the rim for damage. Study the reverse carefully. Then move your attention to Monticello and examine the steps one by one. You should also pay attention to the luster. A high-quality uncirculated Jefferson nickel can have beautiful original mint luster that moves across the surface when the coin is tilted under light. Be careful, though, because cleaning can destroy the original surface and reduce collector appeal. A coin that has been polished or harshly cleaned may look shiny, but artificial brightness is not the same thing as original mint luster. Another important factor is contact marks. According to current NGC information, ordinary 1970-60 Jefferson nickels are generally inexpensive in circulated grades, while exceptionally high-grade examples can be worth substantially more. NGC's current guide shows the highest listed regular examples reaching hundreds of dollars, while full steps examples can command considerably higher values. Public market data also shows why condition matters so much. Recent sales and price estimates for high-grade 1970-60 Jefferson nickels vary widely, with ordinary uncirculated pieces bringing modest amounts while premium high-grade and full steps examples can reach much higher levels. There is also something important to understand about the phrase, "from proof set." A 1970-60 Jefferson nickel and a 1976 S-proof Jefferson nickel are different issues. The D mint mark means Denver, while the S mint mark identifies the San Francisco proof issue. So if your coin is specifically marked D, you are dealing with the Denver Business Strike coin, even if you found it alongside other coins from a collection or set. The most exciting possibility is an exceptionally high-grade 1970-60 Jefferson nickel with strong full steps. That does not mean your 1970-60 nickel is automatically worth $1,800. But that is precisely why you should check every old coin before spending it. The value is not always sitting in the date alone. Sometimes it is hidden in the grade, the strike, the preservation, the variety, or one tiny detail that most people never notice. Then check for the D mint mark. Examine the condition. Study the reverse. And most importantly, inspect those Monticello steps. If you believe you have an unusually high-grade example, professional authentication and grading may be worth considering. A certified grade can provide a standardized assessment, and can help establish how your coin compares with other high-grade examples. The 1970-60 Jefferson nickel may have been produced in huge numbers, but the finest surviving examples tell a completely different story. When a common coin becomes exceptionally well preserved, beautifully struck, and especially strong in the full steps area, collectors can become very interested. Check Monticello. And check every single step. Because somewhere among ordinary coins, there could be a condition rarity hiding in plain sight. So, could your old 1970-60 Jefferson nickel be worth serious money? There is only one way to find out. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video helped you understand the 1970-60 Jefferson nickel, its history, rarity, condition, full steps designation, coin value, and potential worth. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it with other coin collectors, subscribe to the channel for more rare coins and valuable coins worth money, and let us know in the comments if you have ever found a rare Jefferson nickel in your collection. Thanks for watching, and good luck searching for the next valuable coin.